I'm going to play a little game with you, Chris. We saw earlier in this young baseball season that Clayton Kershaw had a perfect game through 7 in which he, struck out 13 of 21. Tonight, Shohei Ohtani went to the mound against Houston, and he took a perfect game into the 6th inning. And I was just curious. He gave up a hit. He eventually left the game after 6 as a pitcher, still 2 for 4 with 2 runs batted in. How long would you have gotten with him? He had, when he left, 80 pitches after 6 innings. Do you think there was a chance if it was perfect and he was also, hitting the ball and driving in runs that they would have let him in?
I think it's really, really tough when it's a perfect game versus a no-hitter. Johan Santana's career was never the same after the Mets chased their first, and so far I believe only still, right off the top of my head, their only franchise no-hitter with him to the tune of like 140-some pitches, and that just wrecked his arm for a no-hitter. I mean, that was odd. Perfect game's tough. Like if he gets 8 perfect and he's got 108 pitches, it's really hard for me not to say, hey, there have only been 23 of these things ever, only 21 since 1900. I'm going to pull this guy. I thought it was the wrong move to pull Kershaw because even though Kershaw agreed with it, said, I wasn't stretched, blah, blah, blah. No, come on, you got to let the guy go. You got to let him try it. It's a perfect game. There have been 300 and just off the top of my head, like 315 no-hitters in baseball history, 23 perfect games. I mean, that's real immortality you're chasing there. And for either one of these guys, Kershaw's going to the Hall of Fame. Ohtani is an unbelievably unique talent. Why would you not want to have the chance at that on your resume? That doesn't come by often. Might never come by for Ohtani again. Why would you give up the gift of at least a shot at it?
Yeah, Joe Madden is the man. Now, knowing how he manages, he may have let him in there. We'll see. We'll never know because he gave up a hit, and then at that point it was a prudent thing to do. Also, one other baseball note, and as we go to break, we'll talk about football on the other side, but Clay Holmes struck out Miguel Cabrera tonight. And, boy, I tell you what, Clay Holmes, whatever they're doing to him in New York, and I like the return the Pirates got because part of it was Diego Castillo along with Hoy Park, but he's a different pitcher in New York. And he struck out Cabrera, who was looking for hit number 3,000.
Yeah, it's frustrating when the Pirates, I mean, I don't mind the return like you said, but some of these guys, you just see the basic arm talent and you wonder if somebody else is going to harness it. Used to be other teams would trade guys like that to the Pirates and we would see them start to flourish here. The shoe's going to be on the other foot every so often, but the fact that Holmes has turned into sort of a lights-out guy in relief situations is pretty impressive and maybe not all that surprising given that he had the raw talent to do it. By the way, really quick here, let me editorialize. Does it not say something about baseball that Miguel Cabrera, one of the biggest offensive forces of this century, is on the precipice? He's 1 hit away from 3,000, and it feels like if you hadn't mentioned that to me right there in passing, that I'm serious though, that much of our audience and much of the audience of sports fans out there would have absolutely no idea that that was taking place, and worse yet, even if they did, might let it pass with a shrug.
Right. That's kind of how things are today in general life, too. A lot of things that should be big or affect us don't. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Penguins, who could be in 4th place by the time you wake up tomorrow. We'll get into that and some Steeler draft stuff as they're 7 days away. And your phone calls, 412-575-2600. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. It's live on TV, CW, and live on 93.7 The Fan on a simulcast. We'll be right back.